We do have to address, though, I mean, investors have been nervous about you guys. The stock's down about 80% from the post-IPO highs. And we've seen the software space in particular, investors kind of trying to figure out the AI impact on lots of different sectors, including yours. So grappling with the defensibility of Fig's moat against AI native players and competitors, or the potential for general AI efficiencies to kind of weigh on seats. So walk us through, should investors be worried? What impact is AI disruption really having on your company?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me, and really appreciate the chance to be on the show with you. Yeah, I think it's, I can offer always a point of view, but I can't tell investors what to think or not think. They're going to do that on their own. But for us, 2025, we look back on as a massive year for Figma, and our fourth quarter was our best quarter yet. We saw growth acceleration. We delivered 304 million in revenue last quarter. And that represented an accelerated year-over-year growth rate for the quarter of 40%. And for us, we look at the business and go, okay, as AI gets better, Figma gets better. And I think everyone should be thinking that way. As AI gets better, does your company and your products, do they also get better? We're also shipping faster than ever. Last year in 2025, we went from 4 to 8 products. And we also launched over 200 features, and that growth and that momentum has not slowed down. The velocity continues, and actually this week, we just launched a integration with Claude Code, where Claude Code can now go to Figma Design. So you can take the code you're working on and then take that state of the application and then move it into Figma Design. We can talk more about the benefits and why we did that later, but we're really excited because right now, we are seeing people start in so many different places, whether it be a terminal, a prompt, or user interface designed to like Figma. We want to make sure that Figma is the place where it all can come together. And that's the platform that we're building. And if we can do that, I think that we are in a place where we can capture a massive opportunity. So we're very focused on building that platform to make that feature possible.
Still, I wonder about the message to investors who may be concerned about LLMs or just AI actually affecting your core business or your core features as the stock of the company gets lumped in with sort of like all of the SaaS play and this idea of a SaaS apocalypse. What would you say to investors out there who are a little gun shy when it comes to software stocks right now?
I think that the best thing to do is to actually understand companies from first principles. And again, to me, the first and most obvious test is, okay, if AI and models are getting better, which I think is everyone's base case right now, that we're going to continue to see really significant increase in capabilities, then does the company get better too? And for Figma, we passed that test. We are, a year ago, we didn't have any notion of AI credits in the platform. Now we see more than 75% of our paid customers who are over 10K in ARR, they're consuming AI credits every week in Q4, as of Q4. And that, I think, speaks to some of the traction that we're seeing with our AI offerings. And also over half of our large customers, they're building with our product Figma Make, which is a way to go from prompting and Figma Design to working application. Over half those large customers are building in Figma Make on a weekly basis. And so that's up, by the way, from 30% in Q3. So significant increase, 30% to 50%. And I think overall, the platform is just very well positioned if you think about the product development lifecycle. Not everyone is thinking in code. A lot of people want to think visually. And if you can go create that map of what the software can be, and if you're not just urgently driving towards a solution, but rather you share our point of view, which is in a world of ever increasing competition in software, you don't just need to make a product, you need to make the best product. You need to lean in, actually have design as a differentiator, craft as a differentiator. You need a point of view. Then you need to select from this infinite option space out there of possibilities and curate the ones that are actually the best options for you to go build. And that's not work that is done in code. Code is linear. It's a linear process. You need to go and actually consider the full option space to go build the best thing. And that's what we're trying to enable for our customers.
So how do you think the world, I mean, Dylan, this is great because I think we're trying to understand, especially when we see these sectors impacted by this AI scare, of just trying to understand how this is unfolding. And yet, kind of, would you agree that the AI disruption that we're seeing unfold and maybe impact certain sectors is kind of happening a little bit faster than we expected? At the same time, everybody seems to come on and say, we're really early in, when it comes to this process. So even if you are kind of somewhat upbeat, would you concede that we're not quite sure exactly how this might shape your company or, how this all impacts how we work going forward? I mean, there's still a lot to be figured out, right?
Well, I think, again, there's frameworks you can use that are good tools here.
Yeah.
So, for example, I think that you can broadly bucket verifiable versus non-verifiable, and perhaps it's a spectrum, not a binary. But math, for example, as verifiable as it gets, you can understand if something that is a math theorem that AI generates, is provably correct based on formal verification systems. And because of that, we're going to see incredible progress in mathematics. I mean, it is just amazing what we're going to see in math. Code is closer to math in terms of its verifiability. Design, totally not verifiable. You could have 5 designers in a room debating what is the best design, and you could get like 10 or 20 or 30 opinions from those 5 designers. It is something that is very subjective. And yet, if you get it right and you can lean into craft and you can lean into design as a differentiator, that is how you're going to win in software. And also, it's not just that SaaS companies are software businesses and that's it. Every company is a software business today.
Yeah.
And so I think that every company really needs to figure this out. And if they can lean into design and really treat it with the reverence it deserves, then I think they will have a path to winning. But I think the ones that don't are going to have a hard time.
Well, part of that path includes spending big when it comes to AI and working to improve those features and bring those features to your customers. How much are you spending on AI tokens? How much are you spending on the models?
Yeah, we're not trying to be a frontier lab, first of all, just to be super clear about that. That's a game that we're not playing. And kudos to those that do. They are our partners, and we're very lucky to partner with them. And also, they're our customers. And it is, I think, very exciting to see how they're using Figma to help shape these surfaces. But yeah, you can see the spend around inference show up in our gross margin. And I think that we did well to hold that flat. And definitely, we're always looking at ways to be more optimization focused. But also, you can see it as a proxy through how Make weekly active users, which we disclosed as well, grew 70% quarter over quarter. And I think that the way that the overall activity is growing the platform as it relates to not just that, but also the way that people are using some of our AI image generation capabilities and other AI features in Figma, is really just a start. Like, we believe that Make and Figma Design, and Figma Design is our flagship design tool, whereas Make is about going from prompt to working app with Figma. We can try to bring those surfaces closer together because so many of our users that are using Make on an active basis are also using Figma Design. It is the majority case by far. And so if we can bring those closer together and have them live as one experience, and help people really think divergently,
Yeah.
explore option spaces, but also use their hands, get into it. You don't want to prompt and say, change it to 12 pixels spacing, and then it takes 2 minutes to go see if you're right or not. Like, you want to go have that direct manipulation flow state and actually see what it is that you want. And
Right.
I think there's things that are going to do in prompt and things that are going to do with direct manipulation with design tools like we've done for a while.